So this goes, again, until midnight. So it covers essentially our breadbasket. Technically, you folks down in Prince William County, Charles County, are not under it. I still wouldn't let your guard down. There's still going to be some big storms in the metro area overnight. So what about, there's no warnings right now, which is good. What about the flash flood watch? And now we also have a flash flood watch, and it covers, much of the metro, essentially north. Not technically D.C., but Montgomery County and Frederick County is covered. That goes until 2 o'clock in the morning. So in addition to damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, we could also have some heavy downpours that would result in some flash flooding. And we've had a tremendous amount of rain. Remember, 9 inches in August was the ninth wettest August we've had on record. So the threats then, this is essentially the threats overnight. We're going to have that yellow weather alert through noon on Thursday, or till noon on Thursday, but in the morning on Thursday, it's more just light showers and nuisance showers and kind of, a pain walking the kids at the bus stop. But overnight, damaging winds, low. Tornado, low, but on the table. Hail, low. And heavy downpours. That's moderate to almost high. That is going to be pretty much a sure thing with these storms. So here's radar. Here is the approaching line of showers and storms. Again, either side of I-81. Some areas have just crossed over into Jefferson County, West Virginia right now. And notice the lightning here. The increase in lightning. Again, it's a really good indication they're getting stronger. And it's kind of unusual, but we have some dynamics in the atmosphere that will allow these storms to get stronger even though it's nighttime and there's no sun and there's no heating. So we'll put this into motion again last couple hours. These are pretty good storms just south of Hagerstown. They're generally moving off to the north and the east. So we're going to see some pretty quick movement of these storms, but we got some pretty good rainfall here. Charlestown northward, just before you get to 40, rainfall about 1.5 inches per hour. Don't see any hail in those just yet, but some strong gusty winds, yes. And this is essentially just to the east side of I-81. Already raining pretty hard in Hagerstown. We'll zoom in. Yeah, this is rainfall over 1.5 inches per hour just south of Maryland 65. So just Shepherdstown, you're getting kind of moderate rain, but it's actually heavier east of you and south of you. And it's going to head up toward Boonesboro in the next 10 minutes or so. So what does Futurecast do with these storms? Remember, Futurecast has a hard time dealing with individual cells, okay, over very small areas. We call microscale weather. But it's been pretty emphatic developing a sort of a line of storms at 10 o'clock. Heavy storms out to the west, heavy storm up to the north. And look what happens. By 11 o'clock, they kind of congeal into one line. That's possible. And it's been pretty consistent. This model is updated every hour. It's been pretty consistent doing this. So strong storms possible Westminster through Frederick down to Leesburg, just west of Warrenton. And that would spell damaging winds and rainfall rates over 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches per hour. So that would also result in some flash flooding. By midnight, look what happens. They're still inching very slowly south. This is not a fast-moving event, unfortunately. So even at midnight, we're still looking at big storms possible in Montgomery County and Fairfax County. And even by 1 o'clock in the morning, big storms possible. Look at that little magenta there. That could be hail. That could be tremendous tropical rains, too. So these are going to be serious as we go through the next few hours until about midnight or 1 o'clock. By morning at 3:30 in the morning, we're still left with showers, but the threat of severe weather is pretty much gone. And the threat of heavy downpour is pretty much gone as well. So again, the threats. Damaging winds, isolated tornado, hail, it's all on the table. But heavy downpours, I think, leads the pack in terms of the most likely, okay? So we've got the yellow weather alert through Thursday morning. Storms will taper to showers overnight. It will become nice Thursday afternoon, but clouds and showers are going to linger south and east. Our friends in southern Maryland will probably have a cloudy, showery day all day. But everybody, boom, breezy and just gorgeous on Friday. Just absolutely wonderful on Friday. Now, here's another model. We'll take you into Thursday morning. And this model still has some pretty good showers and storms out to the west around Winchester. I'm not so sure I buy that, but everything weakens by 9 o'clock, and that I do buy. It's all shades of green. It's all light. Temps in the 60s to low 70s. So, it will be a little messy, a little wet walking the kids at a bus stop on Thursday morning. And many of us will have a wet commute, too. By 1 o'clock, though, most of the showers and storms confined to southern Maryland, some clearing back to the west. And then by 6 o'clock, it's still trying to develop a couple more showers. I don't know if I buy that. In any event, it'll be partly cloudy. We'll have sunshine by about 4 or 5 o'clock. And yeah, our friends in the south, Charles County, southward, Northern Neck, will probably have a cloudy day all day. Don't see much change in that. And by 10 o'clock, temps in the 60s, a nice northwesterly breeze. Cooler air finally moves in, and drier air moves in, too, behind this front. So, rainfall amounts. This doesn't look particularly impressive, okay? But remember, It only takes about 45 minutes under one of those heavy thunderstorms to produce an inch, inch and a half of rain. So take that with a grain of salt. Remember, that's just one location. So here is the Severe Thunderstorm Watch. Again, threats are hail, damaging winds, isolated tornadoes. And again, it goes until midnight. So the district, Prince George's County, Fairfax, North and West is covered. Melissa, any questions coming in just yet? I'll keep going. That's okay. Question about Culpeper. What is her question? Like in the immediate future or? Well, Culpeper, you're technically not in the watch area or in the Severe Thunderstorm Watch or in the Flash Flood Watch. You had a pretty good storm earlier, but it weakened as it moved northward. So you still have to keep your eyes peeled for more showers and storms tonight. So even though you're not in the watch, you still may see some big storms tonight. So, you know, get small objects inside while you can. This is the Flash Flood Watch, Montgomery County, Frederick County North. And again, it doesn't include Washington County or Loudoun County, but, you know, sometimes the storms don't follow county boundaries, so you might still see some heavy downpours on either side of that line. Just sort of keep that in mind. That's the best chance in Montgomery County and also Frederick County. That goes until 2 o'clock in the morning. The threats again, you know, we got all the threats pretty much. We have damaging winds, we have isolated tornado, hail, and then heavy downpours. And that's probably the biggest threat. We were sort of doing this same deal last Wednesday, but we had more numerous tornadoes when we had the remnants of Ida and no threat of hail. Tonight, fewer, if any, tornadoes, but we have the threat of hail this time, along with damaging winds. So there's the radar. And again, I mean, you see a pretty good line trying to develop here. Most of it's west of I-81, but this little storm is getting pretty heavy in the panhandle of West Virginia, crossing over the river into Washington County and even into Frederick County. Well, probably just north of Frederick County. It's going to just sort of clip Frederick County. Right now it's in Washington County. That's a heavy storm. And we'll see if they issue a warning on that. Yes, question? Yeah, question. A chance of tornadoes not as high as last Wednesday. Absolutely. Last Wednesday, we were pretty confident we'd see some isolated tornadoes with the remnants of Ida. There could be some here, but yes, much less of a chance, but still a chance. Low, but still a chance. Good question. Should you keep your phones ready tonight in case of a potential warning? Yeah, that's a good idea. I would charge your devices too in case we lose some power. Actually, I want to show one graphic. I thought I had it in here. I don't. I'm going to show you the tornado index. And showed this earlier throughout the shows. And it was pretty good, I thought, in terms of who was covered, who had the slight risk of the tornadoes, and also how it moved eastward and southward throughout the night. I thought it was pretty good. So let me just bring this up here, and I'll show what I mean. So this is 10 o'clock tonight. Mainly it's east of us. And this is just one index we look at. And notice we go to 11, much higher chance along, well, across the bay into the Delmarva. Midnight, pretty good chance. Delmarva, that's about as high as we get here in the metro. We rarely see a moderate index. And then by 1 o'clock, it pretty much goes away. So I kind of like this this index just because I think it's one tool. It worked very well last Wednesday, by the way, but it's just one tool. But I like it, and I thought I'd show that to you. And I thought that was in the show. I apologize. It is in the show now. More questions, Melissa? Well, this is all generated. Where the storm system come from? This is all generated by a cold front. So cold, dry air moving into warm, moist air, and you get big storms. This is pretty typical for this time of year. There's your Severe Thunderstorm Watch. D.C., Prince George's, Fairfax, points north and west. Does not include our friends all the way west out toward Cumberland, but it does include Washington County now and also Frederick County and Jefferson County in West Virginia until midnight. And that includes, again, the threat of damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, and hail, and also heavy downpours, which would result into flooding. Okay, so now we have a severe thunderstorm warning. I thought they would issue one. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning now for parts of Frederick and also into parts of Martinsburg. So we'll go through these pretty quickly. This is the flash flood watch. These are the threats. I think what I'll do probably, well, these are the threats. We can show these. Again, heavy downpours, biggest threat, but damaging winds are a threat too. Here's a tornado index again by 11 o'clock across the bay. By midnight, could see something going on in the Delmarva, no doubt about that. All right, so let's go on to radar. Here's a storm they've warmed on, and boy, one clue is the increase in lightning, wasn't it? Whew, was to me. That's a pretty good storm. So we'll zoom in now. We've got this activity pushing out of the Panhandle up into Washington County and Frederick County. So this is the severe thunderstorm warning till 10:15 for Frederick and Jefferson and Loudoun in Washington County. So a little piece of Jefferson County, although another 10 minutes it's going to be out of Jefferson County, West Virginia. Okay, but Loudoun. Although I don't necessarily think this is the part of Loudoun, you're probably okay if you're in Loudoun County. Mainly this is for Washington County and extreme western, northwestern Frederick County. And that goes until 10:15. Look at the lightning. That's really increased a lot. It's still increasing. So pretty good dynamics, even though it's 9:15, 9:16 at night and the sun's gone down and been down for a while. It's a pretty good storm. And it's heavy rain, has gusty winds, and it's extending almost just to the west of Thurmont, crossing over 40 right now. So that is a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:15. A warning means it's happening. It's occurring, all right? These are gusts. These are, what kind of winds are these? We're talking about damaging winds in terms of gusts. They won't be sustained, but they could gust up to 60. But even 40 or 50 would do some damage for you. So, yeah, just gusts of wind. Well, the winds in Montgomery County could gust, when the storms roll through. So the storms aren't there yet. So you have to sort of be in this storm. This is where the winds are right now, Rohrersville and just north of Sandy Hook and just to the east now of Shepherdstown. So this is where you're going to find the winds, the heavy rain, wherever the severe thunderstorm warning is issued. Sometimes you'll see an outflow and you'll see the winds blow out. You sort of feel that in the summer. It's cool, but you're not seeing rain yet. So this will put a downdraft out and put an outflow boundary. But for the most part, the damaging winds are inside individual storms right now. So here we are at 10 o'clock. All right, and it's doing a pretty good job. But by 11 o'clock, it really does pretty much a solid line of heavy to severe storms from just west of Warrenton all the way through Leesburg, south of Frederick, up into Westminster, even into Pennsylvania. That's at 10 o'clock. Now, it's a forecast, yes, but it's been pretty consistent. Look at all the magenta there. I mean, that could be hail. That could be a little bit of rotation at midnight. So we're going to watch this carefully. Again, we're mainly concerned about gusty winds, but isolated tornadoes are still possible tonight. Not like Wednesday when they were really likely, but they're still possible tonight. 1 o'clock, these storms are still pretty heavy. Rockville back to Chantilly. And again, you see the magenta there. That could be hail. That could be tremendous rains. And then by 2:30, 3 o'clock, we're still going to have showers, but we're looking at just light showers. So by midnight, I think, midnight or 1 o'clock, I would give it maybe till 1 o'clock for severe weather and heavy downpours. And after that, I think we'll be in better shape. I'm going to run and get the iPad for a second. Any questions, Melissa? Okay. Yeah, you can just throw out an area, and I'll see if I can't figure it out here. We can do some. Yeah, Germantown's going to be okay for a while. I'm more concerned about Montgomery County at like 10 or 11 o'clock right now. So what other questions do you have? Same thing. Later tonight, 11, 12. Everything is just northwest of you right now, but you should take precautions. You want to lower your umbrella, that sort of thing. Okay. Oh, what are the Pennsylvania friends saying? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Great. Waynesboro and Greencastle. Well, that's why I'm kind of probably just, let me just see if we can just go into here. Okay. So I can do. Golf forecast for Friday is fantastic. Will be a little breezy, but just absolutely fantastic. So here is the here's where the storm is right now. So again, severe thunderstorm warning for Frederick, Jefferson, Loudoun, and Washington County. But I got to tell you, mainly it's for Frederick and Washington County. If you're in this little sliver of Loudoun County, you're fine, and you're essentially clear of this storm now in Jefferson County, West Virginia, although there's another storm kind of on its heels. But for that storm, you're pretty much clear. We do have another warning up to the north. This just came out. Adams, Cumberland, and York, and that goes until 9:45. So when you see this kind of line develop, you're like, maybe Futurecast is onto something later tonight at 10 or 11 o'clock. I mean, it's certainly possible. So here we go now. This is, we're zooming in now. This is tremendous lightning around Charlestown. And an indication that the storm is simply getting stronger. Burke area in Fairfax, I mean, you could get hit later tonight. I would say not until like 11 or so. So I'm going to have to go in and just do this. Let's just go into a couple things here. Let's just see how high these are. These are pretty impressive. That's fairly, I mean, that's fairly impressive for this time. A night, 30,000, 35,000. So they have a lot going for them in terms of upper air support, and the atmosphere is pretty unstable earlier tonight. So it has something going for them. Now I'll zoom in and notice we don't see any magenta. We just see the deep reds, and that is rainfall. And some of the rainfall amounts, now probably 8 inches is probably a little too much. It may be contaminated with some small hail, but this has a tremendous amount of rain in it. So I think flash flooding is going to be a problem as well with this. So again, we're talking about folks, down here in Burke and also Fairfax County, Montgomery County. You're okay for now, but these are going to make a move, and they're going to develop and make a move as we go through the nighttime hours. I would say 10. I would say 11 to 12 is probably critical for like Silver Spring and maybe Burke and maybe Fairfax. But right now, these are pretty good line of storms. Northwest D.C., you might have a big storm, but not until maybe midnight or 11:30. You have some time. So here are the warnings. So I have a new warning now, which makes sense. And now we have a warning up near Carroll and Frederick County up here until 10:15. So this storm is staying severe, and we still have the Frederick and Washington County warning here until 10:15. So pretty good, pretty intense. Pretty intense storm. And mainly it's moving northeastward. So in terms of our friends in Pennsylvania, that's really probably where it's going to go. It's not going to go so much eastward, but it's going to go north. And they already have a warning up here. We showed you earlier, Adams and Cumberland County. So, Gettysburg, you are going to have another storm on your doorstep. If you're on 30 between Gettysburg and Chambersburg, some big storms. Just get ready. Caledonia Park and Guilford and maybe Fayetteville, right on 30. These are coming your way. And what I'm watching, though, is how they're building back here, okay? We're just kind of watching this develop. And we saw a pretty good clump earlier develop north of Charlottesville that I thought was going to hold together. It fell apart. But now these are making up for it. These are very heavy. If not severe storms down to the south and west. But again, they're not moving much eastward. I'll put this into motion for you. Mainly they're moving northeastward. So that's why all the warnings are north and east. See what I mean? See how they're kind of going this way? But with these storms back to the south and west, these are the ones that could get Loudoun County and maybe Montgomery County, but probably not until 11 o'clock or so. I don't think it's going to be a while before they get there. What's kind of interesting, and this won't be super impressive, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to talk about, I got to take this off, and I got to take the WIT radar off, okay, and then just see how many strikes we've had here just in this area. 60 strikes. That's not too bad. Not crazy, but not too bad. But it's an indication the storms are getting stronger. Any storms behind this overnight? Not really. What'll happen overnight is we'll just have light showers, okay? So these will move through, and then we'll just sort of have light showers as we go through, you know, the 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, even into maybe as late as 8 o'clock hour, which is why we've issued a yellow weather alert through the morning on Thursday. So you may have a wet commute, and you may be wet at the bus stop with the kids. So right now, let me see. I don't see any hail with the storms. I can check on that for you. Let's see here. Who asked that question? That's a good question. Sure. Let me if you can. Sure. Brad? Okay, Brad, good question. I don't see any hail right now with these storms, but it is a possibility, and it is a threat. I have no reports of hail, but we've got some pretty good, it's a pretty unstable atmosphere. It has a lot of potential here. It has potential for some isolated tornadoes and certainly some winds. So we get in tight here. I'll show you what the heavy rain is. Myersville, Rowersville, Pleasant Walk. So going up 70 would not be a treat right now. And it just continues all the way through Wolfsville and Garfield and Foxville and Thurmont. So this is essentially going to stay northeastward. Unfortunately, where you guys are getting hit now, you're going to get hit for a while in this area. Yes, Melissa. Well, this is going to move away from the district up here, but these I'm watching, and I don't know. We'll see if the lightning increases. If it does, it means it's getting stronger. If it doesn't, it means maybe we'll catch a break. But I'm already seeing, you know, lightning strikes out here along I-81, and lightning strikes here on the east side of I-81. You know, sort of in the panhandle of Jefferson County, West Virginia. So that tells me those are still getting pretty strong. There's a lot of potential tonight in the atmosphere. Let's put it that way. So, you know, we've got the threat for isolated tornadoes, for damaging winds, flash flooding, and hail. Pretty much everything is on the table tonight. So if I widen this out a little bit, there's still plenty of moisture back to the west. Okay, so we're not going to clear out anytime soon. That's why we kept the yellow weather alert through tomorrow morning. We're going to keep it going till, you know, till noon. I think by afternoon it'll be okay. But that said, our friends in southern Maryland will remain cloudy most of the, and even wet most of the day. What are the winds west of Frederick right now? Let me see. Stand by. Stand by. Let's see if we can get any rotation up there. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so that kind of looks like straight line winds to me. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's save it. So let's see what we have here. 29, gate to gate, 16, 23. Nothing alarming right now, but there's probably a straight line gust of 40 or 50 in here. 26 by Thurmont. So we're looking for rotation with this, and I don't see that much right now. I can change this to shear. I don't think anything. Okay, shear. Now shear did pop up a little bit. Let's see what the values are with shear. 22. So I think there's straight line winds, probably 20 to 30, maybe 35. But as this grows in intensity, they could become, you know, a little stronger. So that's why they're worth watching. And I agree wholeheartedly with the Severe Thunderstorm Watch. No doubt. Let me show you where that is again. So that includes basically who's getting hit right now. Okay, but remember, it doesn't necessarily, mean that they're not going to get severe in Charles County just because you're not under a watch. But this is the most favorable area, to see, severe storms in this area. So it includes Prince George's County, the district, Fairfax, Loudoun, Jefferson County, out into Winchester. So Frederick County in Virginia, as well as Frederick County in Maryland. I know that's kind of confusing. It includes City of Old Town, City of Alexandria as well, and Berkeley and Jefferson. This is Jefferson here, and this is Berkeley out in West Virginia, and also Washington County in Maryland. Throws through Hagerstown. That goes until midnight, and I think that's a really good. I agree with that. This is the flash flood watch, and it has now been expanded. Aha! Okay, it's now been expanded, so now it includes pretty much the metro. Remember, it was just Montgomery County and Frederick County, so now it's got everybody, pretty much everybody in it, and I think that's a marvelous idea. Because these are going to have some heavy downpours with them. There's just no doubt about that. So let's go into here. It does not include our friends in Charles County just yet, but it might soon. We'll see. But that's just saying that the best chance of flooding right now is around the immediate metro area. So I think that was smart to include that. I really do. Any questions? So we've got an expanded flash flood watch, okay, and we've got the severe thunderstorm watch, and so let's go back to radar for just a second here. Both watches do not technically include Charles County or St. Mary's County. This is the Severe Thunderstorm Watch, and that does not include you guys. Again, thunderstorms don't know not to cross over county lines, but no, you're not in it. St. Mary's, you're not in it. Calvert, you're not in it. In terms of the Flash Flood Watch, no, same thing. Yep, same thing. Charles not in it. St. Mary's and Calvert not in it. But again, that doesn't mean you can't, have some problems. I mean, it does appear that the heaviest activity will be 66 north and 50 north, but I think you could certainly get some heavy storms in Charles County, no doubt. So I would, keep an eye on that if you would. Any other questions? No questions? Okay. And I think we'll probably, let me just do one thing here, and then we'll go over the watches again and show you the latest radar. And then I will sit and digest some data and look at a new forecast for 11. So we are going to have some new data in for 11. And I think by 11 o'clock, we're going to be rocking and rolling in the metro area. So keep that in mind. And hey, remember, if it's safe, you can take pictures, and then just hashtag us WUSA9 weather. We'll put them on, but just be safe when you're doing that. Okay, I wanted to put that on the. I had to update the website. Sorry, kids. So, all right. So there's the radar, and we'll zoom in again. There are the warnings. Okay. So we got the warning still in Frederick, and again, this is just mainly in Frederick and Washington County. I know it's a little piece of Loudoun. Just forget about it. There's nothing there, and they've taken away now Jefferson County. But a second warning too up near Carroll and Frederick. So up here in the northern part of Frederick is another warning until 10. Both go until 10:15. So I'm going to show you Futurecast one more time. It may be a little overdone, but the more I'm looking at radar, it looks plausible. So there's 11 o'clock, and then by midnight, I mean, it's trying to develop a line almost from Philadelphia almost back to Culpeper. That would be a pretty big line, 186-mile line. That'd be pretty impressive. So this is certainly possible. By 12:30, we've got, look at this heavy activity out towards Chantilly. See that? And over right there over DC, almost Silver Spring, near East West Highway. So again, the threats are, you know, everything. Nothing has changed in terms of the threats. We have hail, we have damaging winds, heavy downpours, isolated tornadoes. I really feel the greatest threats here are damaging winds and heavy downpours, which would lead to flash flooding. So we're going to see if this comes to fruition at 11 o'clock, and if it does, we'll come back on Facebook and YouTube at 11:30 and track them for you. But I hope to see you at 11 with some new information. In the meantime, remember, download our app. We will push you the alerts and the warnings. You can track these storms right along with us. It's radar, available, worldwide radar. If you're taking a vacation somewhere, you can check the radar wherever you are. So hope to see you at 11 o'clock. For now, I'm WUSA9.